So you're sick of the shedding and your double-coated dog looks like they're overheating. And you're thinking, why not just shave them? I mean, less hair, less mess, and they'll be cooler, right? Well, not exactly. Shaving a double or even triple coated breed can actually cause a ton of problems, from messing up their shedding cycles to impacting how they regulate body temperature. And today I'm breaking it all down. So what really happens when you shave a double coat, and why is their fur designed the way it is, and when, if ever, it might actually be okay to shave them? Let's get into it. Before we talk about shaving, let's break down what a double or triple coat actually is. If you have a breed like a Husky, Golden Retriever, German Shepherd, or Great Pyrenees, your dog has multiple layers of fur that serve different functions. So here's what the layers are. First, you have undercoat. This is a soft, dense, fluffy fur close to the skin. It's like insulation. It keeps them warm in winter and cool in summer by trapping air. Guard hairs. These are longer, coarser hairs on the top. They repel dirt, debris, and even moisture in a lot of cases. Now for triple coated breeds, some dogs, for example, like chows, malamutes, they actually have a third layer, a sort of in-between coat that adds even more protection called a transitional layer. Think of it like a really well-designed all-season jacket. It adjusts based on the weather, and when you shave it, you're basically ripping out the insulation and waterproofing, so not good. So here's where things can go a little sideways. When you shave down a double coat, both the undercoat and the guard hairs get cut down to the same length. The problem, they don't grow back evenly. They're not growing at the same rate. Undercoat grows back faster than guard hairs. You'll often see a dog's coat come back feeling like super thick and cottony, but it's all undercoat, and that leads to even worse matting and shedding. It often becomes one of those things that owners will then regularly have to continue doing because it snowballs the problem, and it becomes kind of easier to shave them than to try and fix the problem, because it's a really big problem once that happens. Now, guard hairs may grow back patchy or not at all in some cases. If the coat is damaged, some dogs never fully regrow their proper coat, leaving them with a weird, rough texture. It can permanently change their fur. Some coats grow back duller, thicker, or even totally a different texture or color, which is why sometimes you see Huskies or Pomeranians that have kind of this permanently fuzzy look after being shaved, as they are especially prone to this problem being triple-coated breeds. It kind of looks like that overbrushed Barbie hair. You'll sometimes hear people say that only dogs with underlying health conditions, like, for example, thyroid issues or Cushing's disease, have trouble regrowing their coats. And while that is true in some senses, those dogs are at an extremely higher risk for permanent coat damage. Even a healthy dog's coat is still going to have this regrowth period. So shaving disrupts the natural shedding and renewal process, and it can take months and sometimes even years for their coats to fully return to its normal state, if it does at all. It's a risk you take when you go down kind of this unknown path if you've never shaved before. And that brings us to one of my biggest concerns, and that's how it impacts shedding. Double-coated and triple-coated dogs naturally shed in cycles, usually seasonally. When you shave them, you're actually disrupting that whole process that their skin and coats are going through. Instead of their coat naturally releasing and renewing, you're forcing it to kind of restart in a way that doesn't follow their normal and natural growth patterns. Shaving them doesn't actually stop shedding, it actually makes it worse. Without proper guard hairs, undercoat sheds irregularly and can get trapped, basically leading to more mats and clumps, and the coat gets denser over time. And many owners notice that after shaving, their dog's coats come back thicker, but not in a good way. It's just more undercoat, making future shedding even harder to manage. So instead of stopping the shedding, you're actually making it more difficult to deal with long term. But what about keeping them cool? Doesn't shaving help with that? It seems logical. Less fur, cooler dog, right? But double coats actually help regulate temperature. When a dog has a properly maintained coat, it traps air to keep them cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Shaving removes their built-in insulation. Instead of being able to naturally regulate their own body's temperature, shaved dogs can easily overheat faster because their body has absolutely no protection left from external heat sources. And sun exposure becomes a major issue. Without their top coats, dogs are more prone to sunburns and even skin cancer. Now, overheating risks actually increase. A well-groomed coat actually reflects heat, while bare skin tends to absorb it, making them hotter rather than cooler. Instead of shaving, regular de-shedding, brushing, and even using cooling vests or having shaded areas are just much better options for dogs. Now, are there situations where shaving double-coated dogs makes sense? Yes, but they're kind of rare. Here are a few examples. Firstly, severe matting. If the coat is beyond saving, shaving may be necessary, but regular grooming can prevent this. So that's the preferred method. Now, another reason is medical issues. So skin issues, surgeries, or severe hot spots may require a close shave to keep an eye or to put medication on. Now, elderly and disabled dogs, some dogs with mobility issues might struggle, and you might struggle at home for coat maintenance. They might struggle in a grooming salon as well to stand or, enjoy the process, so that might be another circumstance where it may become necessary. Overall, it just may become a practical choice for them. But for everyday shedding and heat management, there are just simply better solutions. So what's the takeaway here? Shaving a double coat or a triple coat dog is not a shortcut that it seems to be. It disrupts their coat's natural function, leads to weird regrowth, messes up shedding cycles, and can even make them hotter in the long run, which you're kind of working against yourself here. And even though you might hear dogs with health conditions are the only ones struggling with regrowth, the reality is that shaving affects every double-coated dog to some extent. Their coat will go through a recovery period, and in some cases, it may never return to the way it was before. So instead, regular brushing, de-shedding treatments, and proper coat maintenance are the way to go. But be careful if you have a triple coated breed, because they aren't exactly like a double coat and do require a whole different set of tools and routine for de-shedding. And I go over their specific needs in this video right here, and I talk about the differences that make these primitive coats so unique.